Hello everybody! Today I'm going to be talking about City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series. Oh, look at that, all lined up so nicely. I read this book about a month ago and I'm just now getting the chance to sit down and talk about it. Not really sit, I'm standing, but you get the point. I'm just now getting the chance to discuss this book with you guys. And I really want to discuss each and every book from the series with you guys because they're just such fun reads and there's so much to talk about. Before I get into the spoilery section, I'm just going to talk about some general things, how I felt about this book. Comparing this book to City of Bones, it is such a huge step up. If you've read City of Bones and you have yet to get to City of Ashes, I would highly suggest moving on with the series because it does just get so much better in this book. You learn so much about all the other characters. It's not so much focused on Clary, it's focused on each and every character within the story. Also in this book, the world is just so much more fleshed out. You get to learn so much more about the world and how complex it is. Also, the overall tone of the story in City of Ashes takes a darker shift, and I really enjoyed that about the book. So if you have not read City of Ashes, I would highly suggest going and picking it up and reading it. It's such a fun read. But for now, I'm going to be jumping into this book and start discussing things. So if you have not read this book, peace out, skedaddle. I don't want to see you here, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but if you have read the book, stay with me and let's chat about City of Ashes. Okay, so I just want to start out talking about the whole Clary and Simon relationship in this book, because it really made me uncomfortable. Personally, to me, it felt so rushed. It was like 1 second they were making out passionately, the next second Simon is just calling Clary his girlfriend and that's it. It's not like he asks or anything. He's not like, hey Clary, will you please be my girlfriend? Would you like to go on a date with me? It's just like, Clary, you're my girlfriend. And Clary's just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I'll be your girlfriend. The face of disapproval. It just felt really weird, and it's almost as if Simon wasn't giving Clary a choice. He's like, you are my girlfriend, and that's the end of it, okay? Okay, babe? Okay. So we are introduced to Mayriz. Is that how you say her name? Mayriz? I think it is. We're introduced to Mayriz in this book, which is Max, Alex, and Isabel's mother, and I guess Jace's mother too, technically. But we kind of get a really bad and mixed first impression from Mayriz. She kicks Jace out of the Institute, but then you find out her real motives and how she was just trying to protect him because the Inquisitor was coming and it was just best for him to not be there. And what do you know? Jace ends up getting himself in trouble anyways by mouthing off to the Inquisitor and getting sent off to the Silent City. The whole section with Jace being in the cell was a little bit terrifying. It wasn't the scariest thing in the world, but it was still really scary. And we get a glimpse of Valentine and he has killed off the Silent Brothers, which was kind of brutal, but I mean, Valentine was kind of on a killing spree throughout this book. So later on we have this whole scene in the fairy court, and let me just say, it was awkward, uncomfortable, and just weird. The fairies are like perverted or something. They're like, oh, Jace and Clary, why don't you guys kiss? Because you're brother and sister, and you need to kiss because you guys know you're in love with each other. It's just like perverted, like fairy court. The fairies are just weird and perverted and messed up in the head. I also really hated all the scenes with Jace and Clary in this book. To me, it was just really disgusting. And even though I know a certain thing about them being siblings, and I knew it going into this book, and I'm not gonna say what that certain thing is, just in case you haven't finished the series or if you just haven't been spoiled for the book like I was, but it's kind of hinted directly at this certain situation throughout the book, so I would be surprised if you didn't know what I was talking about. But I was just disgusted by Jace and Clary throughout this book. They were all over each other and they couldn't stop thinking about each other, and I just wanted to yell, stop! Stop! Please, stop! The whole vampire transformation scene was really interesting to me. That whole process of how they had to bury Simon in the ground and he would transform then in the ground and then he had to break his way through was just really interesting. I had no doubt in my mind that Simon would pull through because I knew he was in the rest of the series, so I was like, okay, there's no way that Simon's gonna die in this book because I know he's in the rest of the books. I really liked finding out about Clary's ability in this book. I thought it was really interesting how she's able to draw basically any rune that she wants. That's a pretty handy ability. If I was inside this world, that's the ability that I would want, to draw runes, because I feel like that would just help you in any situation. And I feel like Clary's ability will definitely help her throughout this series. I feel like it's gonna play a key role in, you know, the rest of the series, so we will see what happens with that. The whole boat scene was just kind of madness. We have Simon and Maya who have been captured by Valentine, and then Valentine ends up killing Simon, which I was like, what? What is going on here? This is not supposed to happen. I know Simon is in the rest of the series. So then we have Jace come and, of course, save the day, and he has Simon feed on him, which is just, you know, kind of weird. And I was so annoyed because we almost find something out about Jace at the end of this book from the Inquisitor, but then she done got killed, and we don't find out what the thing is. It's just frustrating. Ah! I really like how Clary's ability came into play in this book and how she was able to destroy the boat using her runes that she created. I still feel like her ability is going to play a much larger part throughout the series, but it was really interesting to see it come into play within City of Ashes. I was so satisfied with the ending of this book. We learn of Luke's love for Clary's mother, which is something that I really wanted to see. I really wanted to see Luke admit his love for Clary's mom. I just feel like Luke is the perfect father figure for Clary, and I really want to see Luke and Jocelyn get together. And also, Clary and Simon break up, which just made my little heart happy because they're not supposed to be together. Mostly because I just hated the way they got together. Maybe if Simon actually asked Clary if she wanted to be his girlfriend, I would have been more okay with the relationship, because I mean, I wouldn't mind them being together, even though I more so ship Simon and Isabel, which there was a major lack of Isabel in this book, I felt like. Anyways, that's beside the point. So those were all my thoughts on City of Ashes, some of the things that happened throughout the book that I really enjoyed and some things that really aggravated me. I feel like this series is one where you just have a lot of fun reading it, but you also have a lot of problems with the characters and things that are happening between the characters. It's just like frustrating, but at the same time, it's just such a fun book and it's such a fun series, and I really enjoy it. So you guys should let me know down below what you thought of City of Ashes, what some of your favorite moments were throughout City of Ashes, some things that you might have had problems with. Just let me know down below, and I'd love to talk with you guys about this. Anyways, I will see you guys soon with a new video. Later.